Very good morning, children. Let us continue our lesson, that is challenges in improving agricultural products. So in yesterday's class you learned about the different methods used to increase the yield of the crop. So first one is improving high yielding varieties, then using high yield management methods, that is crop production management methods, then crop protection management. Third one is crop protection management. So in that first one, how we can improve the high yield in the crop means we have to use the hybrid varieties. Okay, so good quality of seeds must be selected. Have you followed? So yesterday about that we have discussed already. So now under the crop production management, in a crop production management, so different steps to be followed by the farmers to get the good yield of the crop. So what are those? First one is irrigation, then next one is said to be nutrient application, then manuring, so manuring, crop rotation method. So all these if they are followed, then definitely that will help in giving good yield of the crop. Okay, so first let us learn about the irrigation. So what do you mean by irrigation? Irrigation means water supply. Water supply. So in the previous class also you learned. So what are the different sources of water for irrigation of the fields? You know that rivers, ponds, lakes are there, canals are there. Is it not, children? So all these wells, nowadays we are not seeing wells, but bore wells we are answering. Is it not? So all these are the sources of water for plants to grow. Is it not? So now here the water is very important, one of the important factors for getting good yield. Is it not, children? So you know it very well that the photosynthesis process, that is preparing food by the plants, is happening. That is because of carbon dioxide which is taken from the air, is reaching the leaves through the stomata, and the roots are taking water, and it is also reaching the leaves from the soil, and in presence of sunlight the plants are preparing starch, food material. Have you followed, children? So now water is very important for getting good yield of the crop. So that we can do with an activity, that to know the importance of water. So what is that activity? So we have to select two fields. So in the two fields what we have to do? Same amount of nutrients we have to supply or apply. Nitrogen you can say, or any other nutrient we have to apply, urea or any other. Is it clear to you? Then we have to grow same number of plants, equal area, then same number of plants we are growing, same type of crop we are growing. Apart from that, same area of land we are using. Is it clear to you? Manure is also same, but one field is applied with or supplied with required amount of water, and other field is not supplied with water. Okay, so then we have to observe the growth of the crop. So in which field we can observe more and more growth of the plants, means the field which is applied with or which is supplied with water is giving good result in getting good yield of the crop, and the other field which is not supplied with water or less water which is supplied with, so that is not giving good yield of the crop. So here what is the use of water? So we applied same amount of nutrient and same area, same type of crop we are growing in different fields. So here what is the use of water? Is said to be the nutrients whatever we are supplying to the field must dissolve in water Is it clear to you? So then only that dissolved nutrients are going to be taken up by the plant. Is it clear to you? So when water is supplied in the required amounts, the nutrients which we have supplied or which we applied to the field, they will get dissolved in that required amount of water, and that mineral solution or salt solution, it is going to be used up by the plants, which in turn results in getting good yield of the crop. Have you followed, children? So if the field is supplied with less amount of water, or if the field is just kept arid, that is without supply of water, with supply of little amount of water, or which is not supplied with water, then the nutrients cannot be taken up by the plant. So that results in the less yield of the crop. Have you followed, children? So here one graph is given in your textbook that I would like to show you. So you can see here supply of nitrogen x-axis, and in y-axis what is there? In y-axis what is there? Production, tons per hectare it is given. Okay, 3 tons, 4 tons, 5 tons, 6, 7, like that it is given. Here 50 kg, 100 kg, 150 kg, then 200, like that it is given. So here this indicates the sufficient supply of water, blue color. Okay, and red color is going to indicate the less supply of water. Is it clear to you? So now if water is not supplied in the required amounts, then the yield of the crop will be reduced. Is it clear to children? So here how much it is produced when water is supplied in the required amount, it is giving 6 tons per hectare. Is it clear to you? If water is not supplied in the required amounts or less amount of water, if it is supplied, it is giving just 55. Is it clear to 55 tons of tons per hectare yield is given. If water is supplied in the required amounts, then it is giving 6 tons per hectare. Have you followed? So that's why it is very, very important for the plants to supply water in the required amounts. Have you followed? Now, you know that in the previous classes you learned the importance of water. Is it not? So, in 7th class you learned Van Niel's experiment. So, he has taken a plant. Is it not? And he gave water to the plant. Then mass of the plant it is increased. When it is dried, water as it is dried, it is it lost its weight. If it is burnt, again it is weight again it loses its weight. Is it not, children? So here water is very, very important for any kind of biological activity which is going to happen in any living organism. Have you followed? So water is needed for supplying nutrients to the plants. Here we are talking about plants only. Proper growth, to get good yield, water is needed. Whereas all living organisms, why do organisms need water? Means water is needed for all biological activities like circulation, digestion, respiration, excretion. All these processes are going to be happening. That is because of water only. In plants, water is very much essential for dissolving the nutrients, and those nutrients can be taken by the plants. Is it clear to children? Then, so here water, you know that in the process of photosynthesis, so photosynthesis is a process where the plants prepare food. Is it not, children? So what are the raw materials needed? Raw materials. What are taking part in the reaction? You know that the plants are making use of carbon dioxide that is taken from the atmosphere, and water from the soil with the help of roots. They are going to be taken, and in presence of sunlight with the help of chlorophyll, the plant is preparing glucose molecule. Carbohydrate it is said to be. Is it clear to you? So now in the process of photosynthesis, the plants are making use of water. What for? Converting this carbon dioxide. How? In presence of sunlight, solar energy is needed with the help of chlorophyll present in leaves. So these inorganic materials are going to be converted to starch. Is it clear to children? So if water is not there, the starch formation cannot take place. Like that, carbon dioxide, if it is not there also, starch formation cannot take place, no doubt in that. But here irrigation we are learning, that is the reason water supply is very very important for getting good yield of the crop. Is it clear to you? Then here it is given starch. What is starch? You can tell. You can ask. So starch is said to be a carbohydrate. Carbohydrate which is prepared by the plant. So first starch is not prepared, children. So first glucose is formed. Have you followed? Glucose is formed in plants. So glucose, it is soluble in water, so it will be converted to starch, which is stored in different parts of the plants, like in grains, you can take in fruits, in vegetables, the starch is present. Have you followed? So glucose, it is present in fruits. Is it clear to you? So glucose is soluble in water. So solubility, if it is there, we cannot get food. Is it not, children? Our plant also cannot survive. So because of that glucose, immediately it will be converted to insoluble starch, which is said to be a carbohydrate. Is it clear? So this carbohydrate, whichever is formed, is used by the plant for the formation of cell wall. You can take or other parts of the plants, they are developed, that is because of starch. Is it clear to you? So cellulose is also a type of carbohydrate. Glucose is a carbohydrate. It is simple carbohydrate. Cellulose and starch are said to be complex carbohydrates. Have you followed? So cellulose is present in the cell wall of the plant cells. So plant cell diagram you learnt in first lesson or not? So the outermost layer of the cell, which is present above the cell membrane. So this is cell membrane. And the outermost covering is called as a cell wall. So rigid cell wall we are observing. So for the formation of cell wall, the cellulose is needed. So cellulose, how we got many chains of starch molecules, it forms the cellulose. Okay. So different types of carbohydrates are formed in the plants by the process called photosynthesis. Is it clear to you? So starch is a complex carbohydrate, insoluble form, which is stored in different parts of the plant, grains which we are eating. Is it not? Like cereals, pulses, red gram, Bengal gram, horse gram, then wheat, jowar, bajra, barley. It is only our food. Is it not, children? Then glucose, it is present in almost all fruits. Then cellulose, it is a roughage, like that you learnt in the previous classes. So cellulose is helping the plant to have a cell wall. Strong cell wall is present. So because of that only the plants can stand erect and they can withstand to the any adverse conditions. Have you followed, children? So like that here starch formation is happening in the process of photosynthesis because of supply of required amounts of water. Is it clear to children? Then coming to the next point here, this chemical analysis. Okay, what that chemical analysis is going to make you to understand here 100 grams of 100 grams of water. 100 grams of water is going to react with 260 grams of 100 grams of water reacts with 260 grams of carbon dioxide. Is it clear to you? And it helps in the formation of 180 grams of it gives 180 grams of carbohydrate or starch, I will write. So chemical analysis is going to make you to understand that 100 grams of water will react with 260 grams of carbon dioxide to form 180 grams of starch, carbohydrate you can take. Like that, how much field is there, then how many plants are there, then grown in that field, and how much yield we are going to get, how much water supply is needed, all that can be calculated, and that much amount of water has to be supplied to the field so that we can get good yield of the crop. Is it clear to you, children? Now whatever the water, whichever is supplied to the field, the plants are not going to make use of it. Have you followed? Very little amount of water is used by the plants to get the yield of the crop. But what is going to happen to the water which is supplied in excess amounts? Okay, so that excess amount of water, whichever is there, or whichever is supplied to the plants is getting evaporated. Okay, into what? Into the atmosphere. Okay, through again stomata of leaves only, the water vapor is getting evaporated. Have you followed? So that process we call it as a transpiration. So here plants are making use of a little amount of water. Already chemical analysis we learned here. Is it not, children? So that little amount of water is used by the plants to get good yield of the crop. Is it clear to you? But some amount of water, it is not used by the plants. So it is getting out of the plant through the stomata of leaves. So the water whichever is in excess amounts is sent out of the leaves through stomata in the form of droplets. So that process we call it as a transpiration. Okay. So you may get a doubt, what is this, teacher? Water is needed for growing crops, you said, and you are talking about this transpiration like that. Is it not? So now transpiration is a very important for the plants. Is it clear to you? So which are giving us food. So the yield will be increased again because of this transpiration process also. Have you followed? So transpiration means what I said, removal of excess water through the stomata of leaves is called as transpiration, I said. So have you observed any time in winter season, if you are walking on barefoot, we feel wetness in the grassland? Observe chestara eppudaina? So that is also because of transpiration. Have you observed any time when you are standing under the tree, droplets of water when they fall? That is also sometimes because of transpiration. Is it clear to you? In tall trees, so we have many what is that, fruit yielding plants, trees are there, like guava tree is there, mango tree is there. Is it not, children? So all these trees, how they are supplied with water, that we have to know now. That is because of transpiration. Is it clear to you? So some amount of water is getting out of that leaves through stomata. So as you know that process is called transpiration. So it helps in pulling the water in upward direction, and that water is supplied to the leaves and where the process of photosynthesis is going to happen. Is it clear to children? So now to demonstrate the process of transpiration, so very important this one. So how you can know the process of transpiration? So for that what we can do, we have to take a potted plant. You take a potted plant, so which is grown in your house also, you can take. Is it clear to children? And this plant is watered. Have you followed? And it is leaves are there, Hmm? Now what we have to do? We have to observe whether the droplets of water are produced or not. For that what we have to do? So now we have selected a potted plant, and to this potted plant we have to take a polythene cover. Okay, and that polythene cover we have to cover to the leaves and we have to tie here, and this one we have to keep in the sunlight. Have you followed? The potted plant we have taken, it is well watered, and to the leaves we have covered with the help of a polythene bag, and we tied its mouth, and we kept this potted plant with polythene cover in the sunlight. Okay, after 3-4 hours if you observe, what will be your observation? Inside this polythene cover you are going to observe small droplets of water and which are settled inside that bottle, inside that polythene cover. Is it clear to you? So from where that this water droplets have come? From the leaves. Is it clear to children? So with this we can prove that this transpiration is helping the plants to take water for the production of a crop. Is it clear to children? So if a plant absorbs 1 liter of water, only 1 milliliter will be used to produce carbohydrate. Okay, if a plant absorbs 1 liter of water, it is making use of only 1 milliliter to get carbohydrate. So remaining 999 of water, what is going to happen? It is just getting evaporated through the leaves. So that one we call it as a transpiration. Have you followed, children? So this is known as transpiration, and about this transpiration process you learn in the higher classes. So you learn about the now here that irrigation, how it is important, water supply, how it is important for getting good yield of the crop. So now we learn about the relationship between water and crop yield. Water and crop yield. So in 8th class you learned about the long term crops, short term crops, then kharif crops and rabi crops, all that you have learned. Is it not, children? So to know the relationship between water and crop yield. So if farmer wants to get good yield of the crop, what he has to do? Immediately in the rainy season he has to start his work, farming work. Is it not? So that the water bodies are filled with water and he can get good yield. So after one month of rains, when he starts sowing seeds, then from the beginning only, that is germination only, as it is delayed, then that results in the less availability of water, then that shows the less yield of the crop. Is it not, children? So that's why water facility is very important for the crops to give good yield. So here it is given graph 2, and before which months we will have more and more rains. Okay, so I will show you this graph. Can you see? So water evaporates from plants, it is given. Which month? The evaporation of water is happening more. Okay. So that we will discuss now. So on x-axis months are given. I will show you. On x-axis this months are given. February, May, April, May, June, July. Then water evaporates 50, 100, 150, 200, 250, 300. It is given on the y-axis. Is it clear to children? So find out from the graph the months in which the most water evaporates from the plants. So in which months evaporation of water will be more? You know that in the month of May and June. May month, you know, it is said to be summer, and June also to some extent. Then are these the same months in monsoon season when the rainfall is heavy? So if rainfall is heavy, is it going to happen like that evaporation? Will it be seen, children? No. Then how does the availability of more water affect the plant? More water availability, if it is there, we get more yield of the crop, and apart from that, more availability of water is there means more evaporation process is also going to happen. Is it not, children? Through stomata the water is getting evaporated. Have you followed? Now let us learn the importance of this stomata. So you learned in the plant tissues, the stomata are developed from the dermal tissue. You learned. Is it not, children? So now let us observe the diagram. Let us observe the diagram. So the closing and opening of stomata always it is very important for the water supply. Is it not, children? So here you are observing that stomatal opening, and these are guard cells. Guard cells. And this is stomatal opening. Stomatal opening. Now we can see another picture, that is stomata when it is closed. What will happen if stomata are closed? There is no process of transpiration. Is it not, children? These are guard cells and stomata closed. Chloroplast, vacuole, cell wall. So you learned that when stomata open, so we know that kidney shaped guard cells are present. Is it clear? Which are developed from the dermal tissue, that stomata. So this, through this stomatal openings only the entry or exit of gases. Apart from that, transpiration process is going to happen. So when the stomata are opening, more and more water, that water whichever is supplied, it is getting evaporated. When stomata are closed, what is going to happen? Water evaporation will be just stopped, decreases. Have you followed, children? So here it is, if stomata closes, the rate of absorption of carbon dioxide also will decrease. Is it not, children? Then what effect would a change in the amount of carbon dioxide absorbed have on growth of plants? So rate of photosynthesis also will decrease. Is it not? If stomata are closed, the entry of carbon dioxide cannot take place, so that the photosynthesis activity also will be decreased, which in turn shows the decrease in the yield of the crop. Is it clear to children? Then, if the plant does not get water at all at this time, what effect would this have on the growth? Obviously, water, if it is not there, the yield will be reduced. If stomata are closed, then carbon dioxide will not be entering. So, no photosynthesis. Is it clear to children? So, like that here, the process of preparing food by the plants will be affected. Is it clear to children? So, remaining points we will discuss tomorrow. Thank you.